Hello, everybody, and welcome to Maryville Live. My name is Blake Huster, and I will be your host for our web series the next couple months. I'm so excited that you guys joined us for the night. We have a really great night talking about student life, and we also have a couple of different great treats that me and the other panelists are going to enjoy while we answer your all's questions. Just really quickly, to make you kind of more comfortable with how this platform works, if you would like to ask me or any of the panelists a question throughout the night, type those questions down below. There'll be a little panel down there to ask us questions. Feel free to use that. We're always here to answer your questions. We're looking forward to answering your questions. We also do have a few admissions counselors on with us live tonight, so they can chat with you if you have any admissions questions. And based on kind of what questions you ask us, we might refer you to one of our admissions counselors. So if you'd like to speak to an admissions counselor, there is a chat function to the right side of your screen. Definitely take advantage of that. All of our admissions counselors are so excited to help you tonight. And I'm just personally so excited to have you guys join in with us tonight. Once again, if you have any questions for us, drop them in the chat below. We're always happy to answer them. Now transitioning over, I want to introduce you to some other Maryville Saints. So like I said, my name is Blake Huster. I'm a third year cybersecurity major. My pronouns are he and him. I work in the Office of Admissions, and so that's why I'm here hosting with you tonight. And I'm so excited to introduce Haley, Tariq, and Trinity. So I'll have Haley start us off with her introduction. And then we'll go to Tariq, and then we'll go to Trinity. So take it away, Haley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Haley Akihiro. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm a third year sport business management and accounting dual major. And I'm excited to answer your guys' questions tonight.
Hello, my name is Tariq Harris. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am a third year student. I'm getting a dual degree in biomedical science and psychology. I'm from Dallas, Texas. And yes, I'm excited to be answering your questions as well.
Hi, everybody. My name is Trinity Brooks. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm a third year student here in Maryville, double majoring in early childhood and elementary ed with a minor in communications. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I share the same excitement that Tariq, Blake, and Haley have. So very excited to be here.
Yeah, perfect. Welcome, everybody. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of show you what different snacks and items that we have that we're going to be eating tonight while we're with you, and kind of showing off some of our St. Louis favorite locations. So all of these items that we have are from St. Louis famous restaurants in different areas around the town that I'll speak for myself and say that I check out these locations all the time, and I'm sure some of our other panelists also check these locations out. They're great locations, one of the great options that you have for food off campus when you come to Maryville. So I personally have, and I'll let the other people introduce what they have, because they have some stuff that is a little bit different. I have Emos. I have a pepperoni pizza, toasted raviolis. I have Fitz's orange cream soda. I have some chocolate ice cream from Ted Drew's, one of my favorite ice cream locations in St. Louis. And then I have some gooey butter cake that's right in front of me. And gooey butter cake is, I would say, probably one of the most famous items that you can get in St. Louis. It's a really great one. So I'm going to start eating some of this pepperoni pizza while I hand it over we'll go to Tariq this time, let him introduce what he has over there, and then I'll let Tariq decide who goes after that.
Okay, here I have me some mushroom pizza. I love mushrooms. One of my favorite things to eat. And just like Blake, I do have some toasted ravs as well. And I have my orange cream soda. I have strawberry Ted Drew ice cream. I love Ted Drew's. And then my favorite item here is the gooey butter cake. Yes, it is very famous. I fell in love with it when I came here to St. Louis. And I'm passing it over to Haley.
I have black olives on my pizza. I love black olives. Also have the toasted ravs, but also it's really popular to eat the toasted ravs with some marinara sauce. I call it marinara. I don't know what you call it, but that's what I call it. You just dip it in there. So good. And then also the gooey butter cake. Some root beer, though. Fitz's root beer. So good. It's a cool little cup. Like, how cool is that? And then also strawberry ice cream. My favorite. Okay, Trinity, off to you.
All right. So I also have Emo's Pizza, but mine is sausage pizza plot twist. I have 6 ravioli because I ate one. And I'm not a big marinara sauce fan, but Haley was right that marinara sauce does go with ravioli. I have vanilla Ted Drew's. I love Ted Drew's. My family and I always go to Ted Drew's at least once a year, and we go around the neighborhoods and look at the different lights when Ted Drew's is like slowly but surely like closing down from selling ice cream. And then gooey butter cake. Love gooey butter cake. My grandma makes gooey butter cake from scratch, so it's amazing. And then I also have Fitz's root beer. You know, if you guys can see, I'm gonna be a YouTuber real quick. And fun fact, I just went to Fitz's for the first time, like the actual restaurant, last week, and I'm from St. Louis. I'm 20 years old, so yeah. I know, right? I'm from St. Louis. Never been, like, yeah, it's the whole thing. So this is going to be, I actually haven't had their root beer. So, yeah, this is going to be a new experience for me as well.
I just, funny that you mentioned, Trinity, about Ted Drew's when they stopped serving ice cream in the wintertime. Did anybody know that they switch over to a Christmas tree lot? Their parking lot turned
Yes.
I just found out about that last year, and this is the best thing. This is the best thing I've ever heard of. So
I never knew that.
Oh, sorry. Go. So what'd you say, Tariq?
I was like, I never knew that. Like, that's like shocking.
Well, it was a little bit of a heartbreak when I went wanting to get ice cream and I found Christmas trees. But, you know, I enjoyed the Christmas trees, not going to lie. So the goal of tonight is just kind of to talk with you all about student life at Maryville. And you all kind of serve different roles on Maryville's campus. And I think, you know, you all are great student leaders and we have a great time here at Maryville. And our student life is really dynamic. And I think we do have a lot of fun, even, you know, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, during the pandemic, you know, that hasn't stopped the student life in Maryville. And we have a really great student life here. And so we just kind of want to talk about that a little bit more. So some of the viewers and stuff that might have questions about our student life or, you know, events that we like to go to or different stuff like that can kind of get the feel that we get to take part of every day by being a Maryville Saint. And so, you know, let's just talk about in general some of your favorite events. Let's go around the table. I know that I'm going to start with Haley really quickly because Haley is actually one of our homecoming coordinators for Maryville, and homecoming's this week right now. So Haley, I would, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about what homecoming is. Talk about, you know, how it's transitioned a little bit due to the pandemic, and kind of how we're making the most of that.
Yeah. So, of course, like whenever you think of homecoming, you think of like a formal and all this good stuff. So Maryville sort of puts a little plot twist on homecoming, and we have like competitions between different organizations that work to form a team. And there's tons of different competitions like dodgeball, lip sync. Lip sync is like one of the biggest events during homecoming week. It's so fun. And then, of course, it leads up to our formal. Last year is at the airport in one of the terminals. Super cool. I think that was probably my favorite event of the entire year. But because of COVID, we had a transition because you can't have 800 people in the same room. But we transitioned to a virtual homecoming. So this year we're doing tons of events throughout the week that you can log on to. Some of them are like a painting class with Pino's palette. We have an online trivia night with everyone. There's also like a virtual run. And then also like a student photo challenge. And then, of course, like a concert with Max. If you guys don't know about Max. Up and coming artist, really, really awesome. So that's just a little sneak peek into how we've transitioned homecoming this year and how it was in like last year and in the past. So, yep.
Did anybody go to homecoming last year? Did you guys go to homecoming last year?
I definitely did, and I participated in all the events.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk more about it.
Yeah, Trinity, talk about from the competition side. Like me and Haley got to plan the event last year since we were part of Connect, which is our committee on new and existing campus tradition. Talk about it from a little bit more of a student side of like you got to be on a team, you got to compete. What did that kind of look like from your point of view?
So I was actually on the winning team here, Flip. I was on Culture Shock. So we had a few different organizations represented on that one team. So when Haley said that different organizations put teams together, it's not just like one organization, like multiple organizations kind of partner up. So I believe it was like Association of Black Legions, Mocha Tea, and I think Men of Color. So we had 3 different organizations kind of merged into one that we call Culture Shock. I personally participated in our event called Yell Like Hell. So kind of like a step up, a lot of practices, but I loved it. I got to support them in the lip sync battle. So just kind of going through their practices and giving them critique as one of the exec board members for ABC. So I feel like from the student perspective, it was a lot of fun. That week was really busy, but I wouldn't have traded it for the world. And it was, I know for the Yell Like Hell, they had Step Africa come. That was my first time seeing them. It was a jaw-dropping experience. I follow them on Instagram now, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So if you guys want to bring them back, 10 out of 10, put my plug in there. And what are some other events? I know we did dodgeball my freshman year. Definitely lost, but that's all a part of, win some, lose some. And yeah, the formal itself is always a good time, like just being around a whole bunch of different people and, vibing out to some great music.
Yeah, Tariq, do you want to add in on homecoming, or do you have a little different event that you might want to pivot to and talk about one of your favorite events?
Well, I can say like one thing about homecoming, and then I can do one of my favorite events on campus. Homecoming, my favorite part is always Louis Fest. Which like they have like inflatables in the quad and in the DUC quad, Wildonius University Center quad, and then they also have like food trucks out. And so like they have just different various restaurants come with food trucks from like the surrounding St. Louis area. I believe Ted Giroux's was there, so they had like Ted Giroux's. And then they had one of my favorite restaurants, the vegan restaurant called Bombay Food Junkies, and they had vegan butter chicken, and it was just like super good. One of my favorite ingredients. One of my favorite recipes. But that's something I love about Maryville is like I've gotten to try out a lot of different cuisines and different food options from just going around and having like different events and getting a different taste of different cultures. One of my favorite events that I've been to and helped put on has been Cram Jam. Cram Jam is put on every semester at the end, towards the end during finals week, and basically Go Saints connect the campus committee on new and existing campus traditions. What else? Who else puts it on? I'm sorry, I need help. Go Saints,
Student Government,
Maryville Student Government, and it's
and
one more.
Our Activities Board.
CAB, yes, they all put on this like massive event. The faculty and staff at Maryville, they and the president of the university, Dr. Lombardi, they come out and they serve us all breakfast. There's sometimes performances there, and then the 4 hosting organizations, they hand out like massive prizes like AirPods, TVs, Apple Watches. Like it's always like a really good time. They give out like donut holes, and it's just always a good time just to study, hang out with friends, and get to just fellowship with everyone.
Yeah.
I'd also like to add, sorry, Blake.
Go right ahead, Haley.
I'd
Sorry.
also like to add, like, one of my favorite events too is bingo. RHA, which is the Residential Housing Association, puts on bingo every year. I think it's once a semester. And we all like go into Gander, and it's a huge bingo night. Like everybody plays, like it's pretty intense, not gonna lie. You also get tons of free food as well. Like they have Fitz's there actually. They have a keg of Fitz's root beer. You can get it. But yeah, bingo night, they have prizes and stuff. Pretty fun, really intense. But yeah, that's one of my favorite events.
And I'd just like to say that some of these things, a lot of them haven't changed too much. Me and Haley, actually all 4 of us on here are residential assistants. And me, Haley, and Tariq are all residential assistants in the same building. And we just did a virtual bingo night for all of our residents. And that was super fun and super cool. We had a really cool Zoom presentation going on with bingo night. It was a great time just to hang out with some of our residents. But yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Tariq.
I was like, yes, I agree. Like a lot of the events we have been kind of like tweaking them to better suit the conditions that we are put in. But like we're keeping up like good rapport and stuff like that, and just trying to make like the best out of every situation and still have the spirit of Maryville, here on campus.
Yeah. So if you guys have questions about events or if you want to ask about do we have this event or do we have something similar like that, feel free to drop that in the question area below. But that also being said, did we miss any big events that you guys wanted to talk about? Anything like that? Did I miss anything super important?
First event of the school year, the variety show hosted by the Association of Black Collegians. An amazing event. I love it. I have to say that's my favorite fall event. Cultural festival is always a good time. I don't know, Tariq, did you mention that, or was that the Louis Fest? I'm not sure, but I love the cultural festival. I get to try new foods there, kind of like what Tariq was saying. And then for spring events, I would have to say Evening of Art and Jazz. It's my favorite event. So I love ABC and I love the events that we host. So yeah.
Evening of Art and Jazz is the coolest event that I think I've ever seen put on. It's just a beautiful event. And so that's just really cool. I'm glad you mentioned that. My favorite spring event, though, I think has to go to Gnome Hunt. That is when I see the funniest things across campus happen. So I'm a tour guide for the Office of Admissions. If you guys come and tour with me in the end of April when Gnome Hunt is taking place, I'm going to give you a warning. I said, any second you might see someone bust out the door and jump over a bush or two because it's Gnome Hunt season. So, the last time we had Gnome Hunt, we had just over 50 organizations decorate a gnome and hide it somewhere around our campus. And then each one of those organizations sends hints out on Twitter about where to find their gnome. And if you find their gnome, you're winning prizes from, Maryville swag, like Maryville swag baskets, to anything from like Apple Watches to gift cards. It's a whole array of things. And so I think that is my favorite spring event because I just like to see all the involvement that takes place there. I mean, you see people up at all nights or all hours of the day trying to find a gnome, which I think is hilarious. I love that. Someone asked, where is your favorite place to go in St. Louis, not under COVID circumstances? So, if it's a weekend or something and you have the weekend off or something and you want to head off campus, where's your go-to location? We'll start with Trinity this time. Okay,
so there's this place named Michael's. I think it's on Manchester, but I'm not good with street names. So it's an amazing place. They sell like Greek salads, gyros. It's called, it is on Manchester, so it's called Michael's. I love Michael's, and Michael's loves me. And my family and I, we go there any weekend. They're always packed, so it's always a good time. You're always making conversation with some random person here in St. Louis. So I would have to say that's my favorite place to go to eat. I guess just in general in St. Louis, my favorite place. Did they ask that as well, or just to eat?
Yeah, so they asked where do you go off campus to eat, but how about where do you go if you want to, hang out? What's your favorite event spot off of campus?
Del Mar Loop. Simple. I love the Del Mar Loop. It's some things to do there. What did you say?
No, I said, why don't you just explain what that is? But you already
so the Loop. The Loop is on Del Mar, hence the name, Del Mar Loop. It's probably like 20 minutes away from Maryville, so not too far. They have a host of restaurants. So Fitz is, the restaurant is actually down there. That's why I went for the first time last week. It's a great experience. They have ice cream places, food places, boutiques. They have a place called The Pageant down there where they host concerts. So it's just always kind of lit or live down there, so to speak. And they also have housing down there, so like apartments are down there. I'm not really sure like how much they cost or anything, but I know they're down there. So if you wanted to be like someplace close to busy, that's where I would recommend. So yeah, it's just like a long street with a whole bunch of stuff to do.
I don't know if you mentioned it, Trinity. There's a great ramen place down in Del Mar. It is one of my favorite ramen locations to go to. I did not start eating ramen other than like what came in the package at the store until I came to college. I didn't know there was a different type of ramen. If that tells you anything, well, I kind of did. But yeah, that's one of my favorite ramen places to go to.
I saw that place when I went down there. I'm sorry, Tariq. I'll be done real fast. So I saw it when I went down there last week. So actually, we went down there to go to Baked Bear, but we got hungry, so we went to Fish and Chew. So Baked Bear actually is starting this new thing, $3 Thursdays for an ice cream sandwich for college students. All you have to do is share your ID. So we went down there and took advantage of it. That was my first time having Baked Bear. It blessed my soul. And yeah, I actually saw the ramen. I think it was right across the street, if I'm not mistaken. But I definitely need to try that next.
Did everybody hear that? Come to Maryville, $3 Thursdays or whatever it is for Baked Bear. That right there should seal the deal of why you need to reach out to a admissions counselor right now, right there. Go ahead, Tariq, sorry.
Yes, like mentioning that, I love the Loop. Trinity named like all my favorite like things to do out there. Like I love Baked Bear. Every time my god family were just here this weekend, and like every time they come, we always stop at Baked Bear. And we always go to Fitz's because like you get to see them make the soda, and you get like these giant root beer floats. They're delicious. But yes, Corner 17, me and my close friend, she was my mentor for student government my freshman year. We always go to Corner 17, which is a noodle restaurant, and like I love noodles. I'm a noodle connoisseur. And those are like some of the best noodles I've ever had. They make homemade dumplings, like everything's made from scratch. But my favorite place to go in St. Louis, I celebrate Christmas. And so during Christmas, they do this, I'm sorry. During Christmas, they in St. Charles, they do this Christmas village, and like all the way down the street. I do not know the street name. They have like different Santa Clauses from different countries, and they all dress up like different. And they hand you cards, and they like speak the language. And I'm like, yes, I'm like St. Nicholas, or like they say it like their language. And you go like to the different stores and stuff like that, and they have like little knickknacks and things that you can buy. But yeah, I went on a date there on Main Street in St. Charles. Yes, went on a date there last year, and it was like super amazing. It was a really good time. It was freezing, but you know, I bought some stuff, and I got to meet all the different Santa Clauses.
Go for it, Haley. What's your favorite event place off of campus? Come on.
Well, I was gonna say Main Street, St. Charles, because I worked there actually at this little ice cream shop called Pillman's. But also, it's really cute. If you're wanting the more like I guess like homey feeling, but if you want the more city like feeling, my favorite place in the city is probably Union Station. They just revamped everything, so there's a Ferris wheel, a soda fountain. We can get really cool shakes, like they're huge, and there's like this cool fountain area and all this good stuff. And the soccer stadium is being built right there, so of course I love that area. So
the aquarium down there now too. That's super cool. And I'm just going to transition off of what Haley said. And we're talking about non-pandemic years. Our campus activities board does a great job of offering those as excursions as well. And so you're going to have a ton of excursion opportunities when you come to Maryville. And so we're still doing some different type of opportunities, you know, virtually and different stuff like that to get out and about. But during a non-pandemic year, it'd be something like, you know, we offer free tickets to go to the aquarium. We offer free tickets to go to the Arch, Busch Stadium, Fox Theater. What are some big ones that I missed? Flying Spider is like one of those trampoline parks. Sorry, go ahead, Trinity.
Blues game. I've been to a Blues game. My first Blues game was last year, thanks to Maryville.
Yeah. Blues games, Cardinals games. And so always take advantage of all those opportunities. That's one thing I always say about Maryville is they're going to give you plenty of opportunities to get involved and get engaged. Make sure you take full advantage of those. It's really super cool. Yeah, go ahead, Tariq.
Speaking of like getting engaged and stuff like that, one thing I love about Maryville is like they give me like so many opportunities to go like to different states and try like different activities and stuff like that. This year, well, I guess last year, my sophomore year, I went on 2 trips with Maryville as like student leader development trips, and I went on one with Trinity and I went on one with Blake. My first one was to Washington D.C. and we got to meet 2 of we got to meet a senator and we got to meet a representative. Yeah, we got to meet a senator and representative in Washington D.C. We got to tour around Washington D.C. and we got to go inside the Congress buildings, the House and the Senate. It was just a really good time. And then my second leadership opportunity trip was to Disney, and we got to go behind scenes with Disney and we got to see like how they ran things and how you got to see how things are ran and how just the like different behind the scenes things as far as Disney. The Washington D.C. trip was 100% free, and then the Disney trip was only $300, like $300 to go to Disney, and we get like food, housing. We got fast passes. Like it was just we got park passes and everything. So like those trips are always fun. And they're meant to help you as a leader, but they're also meant to have fun. And like I've met tons of friends on those trips and had like some of the best times. Me and Blake even got like really, really close during that trip. And so me and Trini were already friends, but like we spent like 3 days together, just getting into trouble.
Yeah, and so just to add off the Disney trip, that also included airfare and everything. So the $300 was all inclusive. We did have some scholarship opportunities as well. So if you're going through a little bit of financial hardship or anything like that and still want that leadership opportunity, that's something the Center for Student Engagement offers as well. They're super great about that. And I didn't know that you could have so much fun learning to develop your leadership skills as well. I remember in Disney, we would do 8 a.m. to noon at Disney, like with Disney staff and like doing like leadership exercises and stuff like that. And then the whole afternoon until parks closed was our time. And so, I mean, what a great, what was it, like a 5-day trip to Florida to Disney World. It was just so much fun. And so I'm so glad you brought that up, Tariq. That was a great opportunity. We have a few more questions that came in, so let's try to get to some of these. So Trey asked, so we all live on campus. Does the campus feel like more like a home or more like a commuter school? Do a lot of students stay near school on weekends? Who wants to tackle that question? I think first I would like to just tackle the question of how housing is working currently, because I mentioned that we're residential assistants, and so we have reduced capacity in housing due to COVID-19, and so we then rented out a couple of hotels. So we have where Trinity is currently located, right there. She is at the Marriott, which is just less than a mile off of campus, and so we're offering shuttles to both of our hotel locations, so you don't have to drive or anything like that. And then our second hotel location is actually a Drury hotel. So those are great opportunities. We can kind of touch on any questions like that. I don't want to go too deep into that, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew kind of where Trinity was. And so, let's talk about, does it feel like a commuter school? Does it feel like a very homey feeling? What do we think? Who wants to tackle that question first? Let's do Tariq and then Haley.
As far as like, okay, so I've lived in every single community on campus. I know I was like, except the hotels, since those are like relatively new. But yeah, I've lived on every single like space on campus, community on campus. And each area has a different feel, as far as like, Yeah. Just each community has a different feel. I know like the apartments in Potter, I felt as if felt like the most homey. Like everybody, you're your own area and stuff like that. You get to. Those are the more quiet areas, more reserved. Like the apartments, they have like kitchens, kitchens, living rooms, and stuff like that. So yeah, those are like the most homey, I feel. And then next is Potter. And then I say Mouton is very like homey as far as like it's more of a community space. So a lot of the times like everybody's like out in the hallway like communicating and talking. I know me and Haley lived in Mouton at the same time. But yeah, it's very homey. And then Saints is as well. I love living at Saints as well. So yeah, I'm like, all of them have different feels, but for the most part, they're all very homey. And you just make the best out of your experience. But yeah, I loved every single one of them I lived in for different reasons.
To go off of Tariq, I agree with like everything that you said. But also to talk about like does it feel like a commuter home or like a home, like a commuter campus or a home? I would say there's a pretty good mix of like commuters and people who live on campus. But I think all of us sort of like are like all friends. Like I'm friends with commuters. They come up to campus a lot, even when they don't have school. Like we just talk and gander. Also, we have a lot of activities that happen during the weekends too. So a lot of people come back up on campus for events on the weekends. Like homecoming, for example, or the variety show that's normally on a Saturday or Friday or Saturday, right, Trinity? And then, or Thursday, but Friday.
It's a Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. So we have tons of activities that happen during the weekends. So I think a lot of people are here on the weekends when there's events. So let's to answer that question.
Yeah, I live about 2.5 hours away, and I always feel at home at Maryville. And so as a residential assistant, I moved in a little early this year. So I moved in on August 9th with all these other wonderful people. And I did not leave Maryville's campus except to go like a few different locations around the St. Louis area until just this past, just like 2 days ago, I went home for a day and a half. And so is there plenty of things to do at Maryville during the weekends and during the weeks? Yes. There's all sorts of things that you can get involved in and get engaged in. And, also don't forget about, your education. So that keeps me nice and busy every once in a while too. That takes up a little bit of my time as well. So finding that healthy balance is always perfect. Someone asked, do we have any golfers in this panel for?
No, but my dad golfs a lot.
Okay, there you go, Haley.
There's definitely areas around the St. Louis area that aren't like clubs, like where you have to have a membership. There's definitely areas around here that you can go golfing at. I don't know like specifics, but my dad goes golfing a lot on the weekends at different places.
And Top Golf also. Oh,
yes, Trinity.
Top Golf is like right there. Like it's not right there, but it's like right down the highway, probably less than 5 minutes away. So if you really want to golf, Top Golf, that might be an option for you.
I don't even want to debate with our golfers if that is classified as a real golfing opportunity or not. I don't even want to go down that path. But Top Golf is always a great time for me. Let's keep moving. Let's see here. Trying to answer other questions. Anybody know anything about the esports realm? I know we have an amazing esports team. I've had a few friends that are on the esports team, which is really cool. But does anybody know anything about the esports team off the top of their head?
That we know.
Oh,
no, I don't.
So there are like different types of esports. So like, there's like the ones that play like competitively, like they're through the university, like League of Legends, Overwatch. But there's also like clubs. I know some of the people in my program, they don't really play esports, but they just play with other people. Like it's a club. Like you can just sign up and then they put you to play against different people and like COD, which is Call of Duty if you didn't know that. But like different things like that. Rocket League. Just recreationally. But then there's also like the more competitive side, like where you have like scholarships and things like that.
If you do not follow our esports team on Twitter, you should. They are always a good follow. I was trying to find their Twitter link really quickly, but you can find it. Maryville Esports. They are hilarious on Twitter. We just competed. I do know from following the Twitter page that we just competed in a pretty competitive esports tournament recently. And it turned out like the way the bracket system worked, that for the grand finale or the grand championship or whatever, however you refer to it, it was Maryville's A team versus Maryville's B team. So we were guaranteed first and second place no matter what. And that made me laugh for quite a bit of time. That was pretty funny. Let's talk about Haley brought it up, clubs and organizations and different stuff like that. Someone asked us, is there a rec center? And is there any recreation or club sports? So you started the conversation, Haley. Go right ahead. Talk a little bit about our Simon Center and maybe some of our different opportunities for club sports.
Yeah, so we have in our Simon Center, which is our gym, right off our basketball court. We do have a gym where you can go and do your workouts. If you live in Potter, there's also one underneath Potter. It's a little smaller, of course. And same with Saints, there's one underneath there as well on the first floor. So you can work out in there. They have like ellipticals. Yeah, I think that's the word. And then like weights and stuff. But also like club sports. I know there's tons of different club sports that you can do. Like soccer. I got to be part of the softball club team. It's a more relaxed feel than like the actual like the sports that like the D2 sports. But it's a more relaxed feel. We have like practices once or twice a week. It depends on the sport. And yeah, you just play against other teams in the area. Sometimes you travel, so that's really cool too. That's just some opportunities that you have with club sports.
Yeah, Tariq, did you want to add anything about club sports? Anything?
Not really. I don't know. I oversaw them with student government, so that was always fun. That's really all. The most experience I have with club sport.
So we have competitive sports. Competitive sports teams like your competitive basketball team, and I know Haley touched on this a little bit, and then we also have club sports, and then we also have intramural sports. So club sports are kind of that middle competition realm. So if you're really looking to stay competitive and stuff like that, hop into club sports. If you're looking just to shoot hoops with somebody, I would recommend the intramural side of things. That's really cool. I know that sports business has an intramural team, and the actuarial science organization has an intramural team, and that's pretty comical to go watch them.
Yeah, you can play people in Maryville for intramural. For club, you play other schools. Yeah,
so that's really cool. We do have plenty of organizations and clubs that you can participate in as well. Someone asked, and I think this is a great question, because I think right now, in a pandemic, we see this a lot with a lot of our incoming freshmen. Do you all recommend to be in activities as a freshman, or should I wait? So you're brand new to a university, Maryville University. You're a Maryville Saint now. You just got moved in. Should I dive in both, head first and just go for it? Or, should I hold back and just kind of focus on just schoolwork and stuff like that? Yeah, Tariq, you're pretty excited to answer that. Why don't you go right ahead?
So I'm a peer mentor, and I love like talking to my students about getting involved in stuff like that. I always say try to do like three things. The first one is yes, like get involved as soon as possible, because that is where if you like, I'm from out of state, so I really didn't come here having like any friends at all. And getting involved is what how I made me and Blake became friends because of getting involved. Me and Haley, me and Trinity, like getting involved has helped me make so many friends and develop leadership skills, unimaginable, so conflict resolution and everything. So getting involved has been tremendous as far as like growing as a person and as a student as well. But I always tell people like get involved in like a cultural org, so something that you feel like get involved like as far as like your culture and what you stand for. Get involved. You know, with something just general interest, so like programming connect, CAB, or like I'm part of like Green Maryville, so that's my that's one of my that's my organization. And then just like one of our like big 9 organizations, I don't know if somebody else wants to touch on those, and like mine was Maryville Student Government, and those, so I was always like get involved. There's so much stuff to do. You like learn so much like leadership skills, and those some of those skills like you can't learn like in the classroom, and like those are the skills and stuff like that employers are looking for. Like, oh, you were part of Maryville Student Government. Tell me a little bit about that. How was your experience with that? And so, like, you just learn how to conduct meetings, how to make agendas, like stuff like that. That you might not get just going to class and stuff like that. But yeah, get involved as soon as possible, because that's how you're going to make friends and make like some lasting experiences.
Haley, thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we do have an involvement fair normally the first week of school, and then like the first week of like after winter break, and that tells you all of the different organizations and clubs that you can get involved in. They're showcased out in the quad. This year we had it on Zoom, so you can hop into Zooms and just learn about each organization. It's not like you're signing up and like signing your life away to this organization. It's just to learn more about them, to see which one you're interested in. I went to tons of tables. I got involved like right off the bat. Like I was in like 4 different organizations, and now I've like I'm mostly just in Connect now because that's where my interest fell. But Blake definitely has a different story than what we have. So I think Blake, you should hop on.
Yeah, that's really funny. So I obviously came from about 2.5 hours away from here. And so I moved in, and me and my roommate were like, you know what, we're here for an education. Like that is what we're going to do. And, everything else comes second to that. And I think that was our mindset. And I think that's an okay mindset to have. But what I'll say is it took me about 8 weeks to really dive in and start getting involved. And that's the type of person that I am to get involved. And so I've grown so much as a student and as a leader, just as much outside the classroom as I have inside the classroom. And so, you're going to gain so many different valuable life skills and different, you're just going to have so many great opportunities outside the classroom by getting involved. And it really does help you to get a different support group and a friend group. So yeah, but let's not let our ice cream melt too much, y'all. So, feel free to be diving into that ice cream. Yeah, go get your ice cream, Haley. So I'm going to showcase a few things to you guys because I know we don't have too much time left here tonight. One, for if you guys didn't get to see this really cool cup that we have. So for all of our attendees, you're going to get one of these nice little mugs for joining all of us tonight. So that's a really cool opportunity. Make sure to tell your friends to hop on. We have 2 more. Maryville our web series, Maryville Live web series, so make sure to check those out. I'll give you a little bit more information about the next couple ones. Those are really cool opportunities that we're going to do as well. Oh, hold on one second. Sorry, I think there's somebody at the door. Let me grab my mask really quickly, and let me grab my mobile device so that I can check this out really quickly. Yeah, let's go for it. Oh, hey, Louie. How are you? Oh, the food? Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't have any more. But all the prospective students are in here. Why don't you say hi to all the prospective students? Hey, Louie, thanks for stopping by, though. Sorry that we didn't have any food. Have a good one. I'll see you around campus. See you later. Bye. Everybody, that was Louie. Sorry about that. Oh, that's hilarious. Everybody, that was Louie and LJ. That was just Louie. LJ was right around the corner. I'm sorry that you guys didn't get to see LJ. He's one of our other great mascots. He's super cool. So I'm so glad that you guys got to see Louie, though. So that was Louie. He hops out to a lot of our events. He's one of our mascots. So yeah, let's talk to Tariq and Haley really quickly about what was your favorite thing that you had tonight, and maybe anything that you would like to leave the viewers with. Let's go to Tariq first.
Okay. One of my favorite things today. So coming here to St. Louis, I had emos for the first time my freshman year. Coming. I was not a big fan, and I had it again today. And when I say I really love this Emo's pizza, I ate almost all of it. But yeah, it was really, really good. And yeah, I love my gooey butter cake. Best thing. And yeah, like am I like closing out words, I guess, is like just get involved. Come to Maryville, see what we have to offer. You're going to have so much fun. There's always something to do, always free food, always free merch. It's just so much fun. And I love Maryville and the culture that we create as students here.
Yeah, go right ahead, Haley. Wrapping up thoughts that you're going to give to all these prospective saints right now. Why do you think they should come to Maryville? Why should they become a Maryville saint?
Well, I think you guys should become a Maryville saint mostly because you can build your own path in college here. Like, there's so many different opportunities that you have and different paths that you can take. I know personally, like Tariq, Blake, me, and Trinity, that was on here. We all took different paths and we all enjoy ourselves here. And so whatever path you take here, it's going to be a great one. And there's just so many different ways that you can do it. And and then also my favorite thing, definitely the root beer. You can make root beer floats with it. I should have gotten vanilla ice cream with it, but
yeah. Thanks, Haley and Tariq, so much. I'm going to just let all of our viewers know what's coming up in the next couple of months. So we have 2 more Maryville webcast series. Maryville Lives is what we're calling them. So definitely check those out. Make sure that you're checking the website where you signed up for this one to see when those next dates are. They're still on Tuesdays, one in October, one in November. I know our next one in October is going to be super cool. It has to do with food once again. But this time it's going to be hot wings. And so we are going to go through an array of hot wings starting at, pretty mild all the way to super hot. And we're going to be answering your questions. So make sure you come prepared with all your questions about anything to do with Maryville that you want to ask current Maryville students. So I really look forward to seeing you. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. If you have any questions, reach out to our admissions counselors here at Maryville. They would always love to help you out. I can't wait to see you guys here as a Maryville Saint. And like we always say, to wrap it up tonight, one team, one family, go Saints. Have a great night, everybody. See you all.